Good morning, everybody. It's Basic Eric again, and we're gonna wrap up the major portion of this today, get this guy in epoxy. To try and clarify what I'm doing here, I'm not entirely sure I know what I'm doing, but I think I know what I'm doing. I was trying to follow sort of the My Friend Pete philosophy on doing body work on this car, which was, I think, basically doing all the major dent repair and stuff. So going along and trying to find all the big divots and things that need to be corrected, getting those pulled out, getting them 90% level, 95% level, whatever, all around the car, and then get that in epoxy. And then after it's in epoxy, then go through and do the final body work of putting the I'm probably going to end up skim coating all of the panels, or at least a lot of them, in filler down the road. Potentially slick sand, but at least high build primer and stuff. But I'm not trying to get these panels perfect right now. I'm just trying to get them close. This one looks like I'm doing a lot more than I would probably normally do. But if you look, everywhere where I've done filler is where I did a weld, mostly. So I ended up doing this area up here because if you went back a few videos, there's a bunch of huge dents in here. So this panel was pretty well trashed. But you notice excuse me, I haven't done anything down here, and I'm not planning on that right now. So just doing the major stuff, getting the big dents out of the way, wherever I did welding, get that cleaned up, etc. So that's basically done here. I'm going to go over it again today and make sure there's nothing hiding in there. So I'm going to put a little bit of glaze and stuff in these areas where there's still some pockets of problems and things. And then when that's done, go over this whole thing with 180 to get it prepped for epoxy. Fill in pinholes and things like that. So go over this whole thing and get it in epoxy today. But before I do that, I do want to try to get these torsion bars off, because I did see some people making references of when you take these off, you can end up damaging the car around it. So I want to make sure I don't mess this up in the process of getting these torsion bars off. So I'm going to do that first. First order of business is to get this deck lid off here. All right, so anyway, first order of business here is I'm going to go through and put some glazing on all the spots that I see that need it. Then I will go back again with 80, kind of clean things up a little bit, and then hit it with 180. Oh, one other thing before I forget. I was talking with Roger about these guys, these flexible sanders. So I ordered a couple of them. First thing, they're a lot cheaper if you buy them from Summit than if you buy them from Amazon. On Amazon, I'm going to totally foul this up. This is the 21-inch block. This is the 27-inch block. This block was more expensive than this one. On Amazon, I think the 27-inch block was 110, 120 or something like that. And through Summit, it was like 100 or something with shipping, so it was cheaper. And it got here faster. I ordered this one after this one. This one came from TCP Global, and this one got here first, even though I ordered it later. But anyway, I'm fuzzy on the prices, but in any event, Summit's the place to get them. The more important issue, which I was just shocked, and I wanted Roger, if you ran into this, these things came packaged or coated with some kind of Armor All or silicone coating on it. They were just slimy and gross. And that just seems to me like, what the hell were you thinking? Right? These are body working tools. They need to be clean. And silicone is like the absolute worst thing when you're doing body work. So first thing I had to do was try and clean these. I'm still not quite sure I have them clean, but I went over the whole thing with alcohol and soap and water, and I think they're fairly clean now, but they still feel a little slimy. But anyway, why on earth would they coat them in something like that? I have no idea. Anyway. All right, that's done in 80. Put some guide coat on it and gonna hit it with 180 now. Let's see how that looks. All right, we're working our way along with 180 here. This top part's pretty well done. This is a good illustration of what I'm trying to accomplish here. Again, oh, did I say this before? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So this is just based on what I've seen other people do and what my theory going forward is. So this is blocked down in 180. Here's a low spot right here. It's very, very, very low. I could almost get it out of there. But if I keep blocking much more on this, you can see I'm breaking through all around it. I'm just going to have to put more filler right here now, which I don't want to do. This is such a small low spot right here that will get taken care of later when I do the skim coat across the whole panel. So I don't want to try and get this thing perfect right now. I'm just creating more work for myself. So the spots that are 99% there, not quite 95%, whatever, I'm stopping right there. I will go ahead and go over that with 180 by hand or with a small block just to make sure the scratches are gone, in case that ends up being the good spot later if I lower everything around it. To make sure I don't have 80 scratches in it, but that's what I'm trying to do. So not perfection, but close. This I probably need a little more work on here, because you see this spot I could still bring this down a little bit in through here, but I'm breaking through there, so I can't go any lower right there. But I wanted to take this opportunity to use the trick that Matt over the Shut Your Face garage had the other day, which is just awesome. Also one of my favorite sanding blocks. So as he was saying, if you try and bend the sanding block, the paper will buckle up and not quite work. So I want this contour right here. So Matt's brilliant idea is take the sanding block and lay it on the car before you put the paper on. And then you end up with a sanding block with a slight curve in it. That's just about perfect. Now just a little bit of bending, I can make that fit exactly the way I want. So now I have something I can do that panel with. Thanks, Matt. All right, we are all ready to go. As you can see, I stripped the rest of the panel, get that EDP coating off in preparation for the epoxy. So I went over the whole thing with 180. Bare metal is in 80. I'm going to have to come back and finish all this stuff up later. I don't want to do all that right now, so I just masked off. I got to strip and do more stuff back there, so that's that. It's a nice day. I'll go ahead and paint with the door open. The wind is just picking up. Hopefully it stays down. I'll close the door if it starts getting windy. But anyway, I'll mix up some epoxy and let's go for it. Well, I haven't used the Harbor Freight gun in a while, and every time I get that thing out I end up putting runs in it. It just takes me a while to get used to that gun, because the Finish Line gun lays it down so lightly that I almost never get runs with that gun, but the Harbor Freight gun just seems to pound it on. So anyway, lots of runs and sags, but that's okay. We're gonna be doing more work on this panel anyway, but it's looking pretty good so far. I tweaked the gun a little bit. The fan had closed up a little bit. I forgot to check that, and I dialed in the fluid a little bit, see if that helps me do a better job here. So I think you could see there that I was really fighting with the gun. I was putting it on too light now, so I kept having to go over areas because it'd be really dry spray like that. So I don't know, I may just stop using the Harbor Freight gun and switch to my FLG4 finish line gun, which I haven't been using for primer, but I need to get a primer gun anyway. I might as well just use that one and then get a proper gun down the road when it's time to actually do paint. So I think that's good. And I have 3 tips for that one anyway, so I think I have a 1.3, 5, and 8. I forget. But I think I have a 1.8, which would be good for heavy primer and stuff. Anyway, all in all, this panel looks pretty good. You know, don't look at the runs. There's nothing to see here. Move along. But if you walk down the panel here and look at the body work, it's actually pretty nice. There's a few spots that are a little wonky, which I knew about, like that low spot right there. I knew that was low. This mostly looks pretty good in through here. You can see it's a little ripply, but mostly okay. That spot right there, the peak right there, that's right where the weld went over the corner there, so that's still too high. I'm going to mash that down some more. The epoxy is starting to level out as it dries, so it ends up looking pretty good by the time it's dry. But this is why painting a black car is so hard. Alright, and look at the body line we did here. It's pretty professional. I think I'm liking that. This is all looking pretty good here, again minus the runs. Wheel arch looks good. Let me pull this off real quick here. Close the door. Get a sense of what that looks like. Yeah, that's good. It's a little sharp. I haven't really tried to round it off yet. I knew that was coming down the road. I think this peak goes a little too far here. I need to round that off. So this one kind of fades out there, and this one's still a little too sharp, I think so. But it's pretty darn close. I like it. Alright, that's going to do it for today. We've got fumes going on in here, so I need to get out of here. Oh, yeah, that's one more thing. This corner back here came out really nice. That looks really good. 2 more things. Nice repair up in here. That looks really good too. So that is almost an undetectable repair right there. So that's sweet. Even though you won't see it anyway. Alright, that's going to do it for today. Take it easy, everybody. You can see my reflection in my quarter panel. Alright, see ya.